This is Radically Alive Women's Edgecast.
Hello, Hanna.
Hi, Stacia. Good to see you.
Me too. I feel glad to be here with you and to have this space to let whatever wants to unfold in this field come through. And yeah, I've got a couple of specific questions I want to steer the flow of the river and then see where we go. So yes, first of all, welcome to the Raw Edgecast, and for saying yes to jump into this unknown space with me. It's my first interview with the Raw Edgecast women community. I saw your video about from women to men, and at the time I didn't realize it was yours, and when I saw your name I instantly had this impulse to reach out to Allure and Annika from the Raw Edgecast and say, hey, you've got to interview this woman, and this topic's really important. And as I was typing to them, it really became clear in me, I want to interview you. And I'm really glad that became a possibility. And I remember this couple of contacts we had a year or so ago in person, and really appreciating this kind of, feels like velvety, deep undercurrent of wisdom and aliveness and depth that touched me in some way. And I appreciate your softness is the word that comes, but there's a powerful softness and love and strength that I feel from you about what's important and how that comes through. And I really felt that when I watched the video through you and what came through you, but also what came through this video. And I want to explore a little bit about what's alive there now, about that, and also this new video that's emerging, Women to Women. And first, to follow the traditions of the Raw Edgecast, to ask you the question, who are you now in this moment?
Wow, it's an honor to be invited and to speak with you. Thank you so much. And thank you for you introducing words. And who am I now? Wow. In this very moment, I am full of gratitude and even some kind of bliss, because I am in one of the most beautiful and sacred places I know on this planet. There's certainly much more, but amongst the places I know, this is one of my nature sanctuaries where I am. I'm on an island in the Baltic Sea, Rügen, and there is old, ancient woods and a lot of prehistoric human sacred culture in like stone graves and whatever, and there is the vastness of the sea. And I came here 3 days ago, very spontaneously, because life was starting to crash me under the weight of what the world wanted from me and needed from me, and so much mind load and so much stress. Like, I started to be completely stressed out and to become very heavy and kind of depressed and paralyzed because it was just too much. And I started wanting to drink alcohol in the evening to be able to relax. And I thought, oh, not good. So I said, Hanna, jump into your van and go to your sanctuary. And that's what I did. And I'm so grateful that I did it. I have been walking in the woods and at the coast for 3 days. And here's very magical woods. Like, one is even called Forest of the Witches, which is, it's really magical. And I have been dancing there and singing there and screaming there and laughing there like crazy. And I feel so good and relieved. And for me, it's one example now, because what the world wants from me has not changed. But now I'm completely relaxed with it. I'm like, oh my God. And it shows me once more that, of course, it's a lot right now. It's a lot on me. But how I deal with it, it's so much my inner space that I have or that I lose. And I need nature and silence and being alone in nature to be able to recreate my inner space once I've lost it. And that's what I've done. So I'm very happy. I'm a very happy me in this very moment. Humble too, because I had crushed a bit into a not good space, not good inner space. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for being so raw. and in a way for not hiding. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Well,
and I just heard you say what the world wants from me hasn't changed. But I have by coming here, and I'm curious, what does the world want from me?
Yeah. Good question. What does the world want from me, or what I think that the world wants from me?
Yes.
But
Pick your question.
it's many different things. Like I have created a life, my life, where there's a lot of demands all the time. So I need to deal with this because I'm founder of a huge project, including community, including a big seminar place. And this is my everyday and like being the mama of it all, right? And so there is requests and demands all the time. And the big question is, where's my inner space? And when I have it, it's all good and I love it. And when I lose it, it's too much in general already. And also this, a lot from an outside level, just a lot to do, but also a lot energetically because we're moving collective stuff and trauma stuff. And this is, I always feel like this is a lot to hold, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it feels it's one of the callings my soul has answered to, like, or has come here for, tapping into this collective trauma stuff and being some kind of channel to say, okay, whoa, this is taboo stuff. Let's look at it. And part of me loves to do it because it feels just needed to do. But there's also other parts, like my nervous system, my little Hanna inside, that can be challenged really by it. And even to stand in public with it, it's a lot. It's a lot. Oh, yeah, I need to care for my resourcing.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're doing that right now, but taking
Yes,
yourself where you
luckily.
did.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I can really resonate with this part of your purpose, and I also believe it's part of my purpose is to speak about the taboo stuff. And it's an edge. You know, as you know, I think it's really walking on an edge. And my sense is that you're a little further down the line with this, having made the video last year, was it? Or the one before? The From Women to Men.
From Women to Men actually is even, the time of creation is 7 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. And it went to the world first only via YouTube. Many people found it already then, but it went to, I uploaded it to Instagram only this year because I only created my Instagram account this year. I'm a dinosaur with social media.
Me too.
But back then it was crazy because I'm not a videographer and I never wanted to make a video. And with the From Woman to Man video, like the way it came to life is magic. And then I had the video done with no cent of euro or money. It was just, everyone was like, okay, let's do this. And I didn't even have a YouTube channel. I didn't even have a Facebook account or an Instagram. I created a YouTube channel for this and uploaded it there. And then I was there, like I just sent it to my network. And of course, every participating women, I don't remember how many we were, maybe 45 or something, did send it to their networks, right? But that was all. And in the first hour, it was at 10,000 views. And then it was in the first day, it was at 100,000 views. And it traveled the world and it went up like then people took it and put it on Facebook, and then we made a Facebook too, and it was more than 1 million views. It went crazy around the world. But for me, it's one of the examples, like, wow, there were no algorithms, and there was like a YouTube channel with 0 followers like that. And still it traveled the world because it tapped into something, which I would say was a big collective trauma field, but also collective taboo.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I remember speaking with some friends of mine some years ago now about this topic of how we all play a role in the experiences that we have. That's the bigger version of it, of course. And then coming a little closer in the case of women and violence and relationship with men. What role do we play?
Yeah.
And it's not about it's my fault or it's somebody's fault, but that we have this interconnectedness, and that we can't overlook that when we look at the experiences that we have. And when I started to bring this conversation to some people, there was anger on one side, and then there was, oh my God, thank you for speaking this, on the other side. And I'm curious, how was that for you to navigate these extreme responses?
Yeah, of course it was strong. It was that there were so many deeply touched reactions. So that was like, whoa, okay. And then there was all the anger and and for me, when I created this video, I didn't have the plan to make something so huge and traveled so much. My heart knew this comes out of my heart. And if it touches a few hearts, it was worth it. That was my posture. And so luckily, I was nourished by that immediately. Like I knew, okay, wow, this has touched hearts. And now there's also the anger coming and the projections. And I, like, above all, it showed me how deep the trauma is and how deep the wounds are, and how many defense mechanisms, of course, we have. So there is a lot of compassion around it. And I do understand the point of view, because one of the angry reactions from women, from feminist women, was, you are blaming the victim. No, now it's all our fault. And first of all, if we truly said this, if we made this, I would completely understand the rage. Like the rage would be the right answer, I think. We did not. But we grew up so much in a culture that puts shame and guilt on us, that so often it's hard to not listen, to not hear things like this, to not put it into this, oh, so now I'm supposed to be guilty for all the violence that's happening on it. No, no. But I understand how you can hear it that way. And I myself, I have been working with and been bothered with my wounding as woman in this culture, in this world for so many years. I was blind for the wounds that men carry, and I was blind for my contribution to it. So it took me a long time to get there slowly. And when I started, it was mind-blowing, because I realized that the only way for me and for everything I see around me, the only way to come to true empowerment, and for me it was about this also, empowerment as a woman, is in taking 100% of my responsibility for everything I experienced to me, and to be more interested even in that than in pointing the fingers to what other people do wrong and which does not mean that I take responsibility for what they do. I don't. I completely leave their 100% there. But as long as I don't start to be really interested and curious in, but what is my 100%? What am I contributing to this whole situation? I'm not empowered, and I'm powerless. And that's this place of feeling victim, being powerless. It's such an uncomfortable and horrible place. And I wanted to step out of it. And in everyday life, in everything I do, in everything I experience, and I want this for us collectively, because I want to see us truly empowered and being able to contribute to a different world. And yeah, that was my question. How can I contribute to a different world? And so it's somehow, understand carrying so much wounding and trauma collectively and individually, we have to go through rage. We need to, we have to. So I don't blame anyone who is in this very moment just there. I'm just furious and I need to feel my rage. And I say, yes, please, go. Yes, please. And my way was then to say, and it's my rage. Okay, wow, it's my rage.
Yes.
And now I want to look at my responsibilities, but it has nothing to do with guilt. The whole concept of guilt is part of a sick paradigm, in my view.
Yeah. It's this black and white, something happens, someone made it happen, someone's a victim of it happening, rather than something just happened and how are we all part of this thing that happened? And what I see in this kind of, what you just described as a sick paradigm, is this necessity to know. But yeah, being able to sit in the not knowing and to sit with, oh, this is just what happened.
Yeah.
And we're both part of this, or we're all part of this, and not just isolated that we're part of this, we're part of this thing that happened, and this thing that happened is part of this culture, and this culture is part of this, and this, and this, and this. And to not isolate ourselves, our experience, to this black and white me versus me thing, because it really creates war.
It does. And for me, it's even like when I feel guilty, or when I am bothered with being made guilty, I don't take the step into taking my responsibility. For me, it's linked with each other. And there is one spiritual teacher called Ron Smotherman who once said, guilt is the currency we pay with in order to change nothing. And I thought, whoa, that's a strong thing to say, but I feel it's so true. Like when I feel guilty or being made guilty, I want to hide, I shrink, I become small, I'm like, ugh. And that's definitely not the energy to step into my responsibility and be the change I want to see in the world, right? To do the things. And more than that, it's so uncomfortable to be in this, oh, I'm being made guilty, I'm guilty, that from my shadow, I will start to try to get rid of it in making you guilty or someone else, in giving it away and in pointing my finger there. And again, I'm bothered with this then, not wanting to be guilty, who is guilty then? And I'm not doing the step of, whoa, what is my responsibility? What can I do? Let's do it. And so I think it's really important to step out of this paradigm of guilt, which is a paradigm of war. Yeah.
Yes, it's
not
a
changing.
good and bad, right and wrong.
Yes.
One side or the other side. Yeah. There's not one and the other. There's us. There's this weaving the fabric together and creating new culture. And I'm curious, what have you noticed? What have you discovered since making that video and having it land in the world and ripple out into the world and having these sort of waves come back to you from various different perspectives, from, I'm assuming, women and from men? What is this new culture that's emerging when we take responsibility in this way? Like, what are you seeing as possible?
Yeah. I want to start again with the fear we have, and my experience that the opposite happens when we own our stuff. When we start to look at our shadow parts and own it, show up with it. The fear is so strong that when I do that first, above all, when I do that first, I will be blamed even more. I will be the guilty one. I will be the sick one. I will be the whatever. Like the fear is really big. And with the video, I have been asked before publishing it, don't you want to wait until men do the same? Then we can publish it together. Isn't it risky to step out as women and say, this is our part first? And I said, well, no, because I can only start with myself. I cannot start with you. I have to start with myself. But the fear is big, and I had it, and every participating woman had it. We went through headaches and migraines, stomach issues, like in doing this, really. Like we had to, but the result, and that's the amazing thing, is we think, oh my God, and then I'm small and I'm guilty and I'm, when I own this, my part. And then once we have been doing it, working through it, standing in front of the camera with it, naming it, the amazing thing was, what happened was not that we felt smaller or more guilty or more whatever. The opposite was the case. I really like for myself, but many women also gave in return. Hanna, this morning I watched into the mirror and I could love myself for the first time. Was one woman participating in this video. Like it wasn't coming into dignity. Really, and wow. Okay, like it was an empowerment. It's an empowerment to say, okay, I have a part in this and I name it. I take my responsibility. And there's this weird fear that with this I say, and you are not responsible for anything. No, of course you have yours. But I start with this is really a question of empowerment and dignity. So that's the most important experience I have with it. And also, of course, like the video is one thing, the work in couple retreats or other retreats and seminars is another thing, like seeing again and again how we become more upright, more empowered and lighter once we finally start to name these things and to take responsibility for it. No, like also there is this idea of when I take I have to take responsibility. This is heavy. No, it's like, wow, it's an empowerment that feels lighter than not doing it. That's my experience with myself and with all the people I work with. Yeah. And it's an invitation. It's an invitation to do the same. And not everyone will be in the moment in his life or her life to do the same. And again, I have developed so much compassion with it, because when you're doing this and you start to maybe to feel better than others because others are not doing this, like it's just a second ago that you have not been doing this yourself. And the big parts of my blind spots where I'm not even seeing yet, where I'm not doing it yet, are certainly huge. So I'm definitely no one to judge anyone to be where he or she is in this moment. But it is an invitation, and I have experienced so many beautiful answers. There's several answer videos from men publicly and of course privately, like when I'm really doing it. When I'm really just owning my stuff, I experience that the people I'm with start wanting to do the same, being encouraged to do the same. And then something else happens, right? Then it's not about, is it you or me? You the guilty, I'm the guilty, you wrong, I wrong. And then it's suddenly, wow, there is a matrix, there is a system of war and oppression we have grown up in, all of us. And how can we track it? Can we track how it's acting out between us? And suddenly it's a shoulder-to-shoulder thing. And this is also way more fun, to be honest. And it's way more nourishing to find out what can we do to step out of this system and to create a new culture together. Yeah.
Yes.
And for me, we can only create it together. Men, women, and every gender that exists on this planet, every being even, we can only do it together. And I can only start with myself. I can't start anywhere else. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we're blaming other people for what we can or can't do, or what happened or what didn't happen, then it's up to other people for our lives to be better.
Yeah.
And then we're giving our power away. it's part of the essence of a big body of work, or a couple of bodies of work that I've been connected to, which is the possibility management and the radical responsibility context, which is really about stepping into this space of how am I responsible for the life that I want to create?
Yeah.
And how do I choose that completely and wholeheartedly, and not just because I want something, as you said, not just because my ego likes to be seen to be doing, or because I want to get something from it, but really authentically. And then collaboration can start.
Yeah.
But not before. It reminds me, I watched this really great talk by Daniel Schmachtenberger a few years ago now. I've watched it many times. It's titled Emergence. And it talks about many amazing things, but there's one point around, are we driven forward by our pain and the kind of the what might be labeled as victimhood and the pain drivers, or are we kind of pulled forward by the allure of becoming? And I love this word allure, and this allure of becoming, and that we can, only I can choose to become all of who I am. And if I put it on you, then I've given you my power, and then we're at war. Yeah,
Completely. I love it. The allure of becoming. And I would say this does not mean at all to deny the pain, right?
no,
And you don't mean it either. But I want to emphasize this.
yes,
Because there is a lot of pain. Like, having grown up in this world, we experience a lot of pain, and it's part of our human experience. And I think it's so important to honor it and to give it space to feel it and to grieve it. I feel humanity has to learn to grieve. We have to learn to grieve too. But when we do this, when we allow ourselves to cry the tears and to feel the pain and to grieve, and we can also listen to this subtle calling of our becoming, the allure of our becoming, and allowing this to be what leads our actions, right? And the pain and the grief, in a way, gives to our capacity of envisioning, of listening, of hearing already the possibilities of becoming. It gives it the depth and the compassion we need. Yeah,
absolutely. Our capacity to really feel.
Yeah.
The rage, the terror, the aliveness, the beauty, the joy, the sadness. Yeah.
In every moment where we truly allow ourselves to feel what needs to be felt, there comes this moment of silence afterwards, of peace and of silence. And it's in this silence that we can hear the voice, the allure of becoming, the voice calling us. I could also say our inner guidance that knows, that is connected with something way bigger than my little me, and that knows more, because this is not shouting, it's not loud. It's whispering, so I need to become silent. And if there's all this uproar of emotions and feelings and thoughts inside of me, I will not hear. Yeah.
Yeah, and it really, what you're speaking about now really brings up in me the potential and the power of being right here, right now. Yeah. Because you did this and you said that, and you did this thing to me, or you hurt me, and it's your fault, or it's all in the past, or it's what could be in the future. But healing happens now.
Yeah, always.
Yeah. So I'm aware you touched on it before. You've got this new project.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, what was the seed for this? And I'm assuming, and I'd love to hear that there's some kind of bridge from this women to men video. And now there's this from women to women video. I'm curious about in a way, the relationship between the two of them and what you're discovering on this journey now.
Yeah, there definitely is. And I already mentioned, I never had the idea of making a video, this from woman to man, was really like after starting to see how deeply wounded men today are after all these decades of patriarchy too, because patriarchy has nothing to do with healthy, being allowed to be a healthy being as in the body of a man, right? And then seeing my responsibility, and then I received this text. It was like a manifest. It was like a boof. I received it and I read it to people, and suddenly, like, people were so touched by it, and said, I'm part of it. I'm part of it. You have to do a video out of it. Okay, I'm a videographer. I will do, like, it was really magic. And boom, it was there. So that's how From Woman to Man was created and came to the world. And that's 7 years ago, which is interesting because 7-year cycles are often happening. And back then I had been asked by journalists, etc., what is your next project? And I was sitting there saying, I've just given birth to something big. And my project now is to walk the talk even more and to really live what I speak there. And I didn't have any plan of another project at all until this year. And suddenly, 7 years after, and suddenly it came very strongly to me, it's time to look again at yourself, and at yourself as women, and at your sisters, at other women around you, and what you experience with each other. And I started to look at this more honestly, let's say. And I was like, oh my God, this is so painful. There's so much mistrust in me towards women. There's so much wounding, having been wounded by women. And then again, okay, shall I blame other women now for my mistrust that I have cultivated inside of me? No. Okay, what is my part in it? Have I always acted trustful, like in a trustful way? No. Mistrusting myself, I have not been trustworthy myself with other women too. Whatever. Like I was starting like, oh my God, this is big. And then it came to me, like, again, it was writing me a text. It was writing me a message, and such a deep longing of, oh my God, such a deep longing for true sisterhood means a world where we can really be honest with each other and stand side by side and walk towards the direction we need. And I feel right now like the world, with all the craziness it is in, with all the wars and I hear the earth and life calling women, not only women, but I feel a female force being called. Let's put it that way. A female force being called. And I realized, oh my God, we need to stand together, but in reality, we don't. We have a collective narrative of telling each other, of course, we're sisters. Of course, we are supporting each other. But the knives in the back, they are horrible. There's an underground of mistrust and of betrayal that is strong. So we're not really standing side by side so many times. And I was in this, okay, we need to look at this. I want this to change. So I have to start with myself again and owning the stuff I can see. And so I started to write this text and to hear another video wants to be born from woman to woman, where we own the dysfunctional patterns we have learned in the system we grew up in with each other. And it's completely linked with how we are dealing with men. And of course, this is the main line is, let's say, straight, cis, heterosexual line when I speak about this. But it's not only. It's very interesting in general to look at it because culturally, collectively, what have we learned to deal with each other? And in a world where women have been dependent on men for so many centuries, like not being allowed to work, not being allowed to vote, not being allowed, I don't know, this is not having own money. Like this is the reality of our past, right? And if you're not even straight, being maybe killed or, you know, like, then the whole focus for so many centuries was so much on, okay, what I need is to find a good man who has enough money, who is strong enough, who can protect me, and to find the one where I'm the one, and then every other woman already becomes my concurrent somehow. No? First because I want to get him, and then because I want to keep him, and I want all this crazy stuff. And it's so interesting because we think we are so far away from this today. No, we're not. In the cells of our nervous systems, we're not. And there's so much concurrence, hidden concurrence, and there's so much measuring our own worth by comparing myself with you. Am I above or below you? Am I better? Oh no. Am I more beautiful, less beautiful, more powerful, less powerful? It's crazy. And so, yeah, that's the next project. I'm in the midst of it and I'm burning for. And I'm so amazed with, like, we are 66 women having from 6 continents, many countries, many cultures who have been speaking in front of the camera already with this. And there's a preview video already on YouTube. The real video is going to come, I hope, in November. And what is amazing for me is the conversations and contact I have with all of these women. And each one of us, like, we realize, oh my God, in the first place, we have been thinking, including me, okay, doing a work on sisterhood is easier than the from woman to man thing. And no, it's not. It's not at all. I even feel the trauma is maybe like at least as deep, and the taboo around it is maybe even bigger because of this. No, of course we're sisters. Like, really looking to it, like, I had many reactions from women in the first place. Oh, beautiful that you do it, but it's not so much my issue. One even said, I only have male friends, you know. I was like, well, yes, interesting, but maybe there's a reason. So really, like, the main defense is not, oh, how dare you do this work? The main defense is, oh yeah, but it's not my issue. And then they look deeper into it. And in the end, they told me, oh my God, Hanna, it's so much my issue. Thank you. Like, it's deep.
How would you describe this issue? It's different flavors for different people, but
yeah, exactly. It's very different flavors for different people. Like, I feel it is so needed that we find a home space amongst women, amongst sisters, where we can really resource and find our own power and our common power and walk together. And there's a huge longing, that's my experience, in our hearts for that. And so far, it has not really been happening because there is this longing. We go to women's circles. We also love it. We sing together. And there's so much mistrust. There's so much comparing. There's so much not really being able to relax there. Expecting the knife in the back or being jealous hiddenly. No, having judgmental thoughts about other women when they show up with their sexiness or when they step into their power. And it goes really into many directions. Like, it can be that I expect from my good friend and sister that she's not shining so much and not so powerful, so I don't feel uncomfortable because I have shrunken into not feeling worthy. Like, this is a big one. But also the other way around. Do I expect from my sister to be strong and to shine in order to allow me to do the same? This is also something that doesn't work. So my question is, can we allow each other to really be different, to not be same at all, to have different strengths, stop comparing all the time? I have been speaking with one of the women in the video who has a background in Nigeria, and she said, in my old culture, it were women who went hunting to get food. And it was one woman who had the good eyes to really see the animals, another one who could really read the tracks, another one who was really good in catching them, etc. And if they start to compare, is it more worthy to have the good eyes or more worthy to be able to do this, etc. And then I start to be less good in what I'm good in order to make you feel better, etc., etc. Like the tribe will starve. So can everyone be in her own, like, be encouraged to develop really her own qualities and not comparing it with the qualities of the other? And also, when I say let's step all together into our power, I don't mean we all need to be in our light and power in every single moment simultaneously, because this is not the cyclical reality of life and of womanhood. There's moments where I am not powerful and I'm not shining. There's moments where I need to dig into my shadow, where I feel horrible, where I'm weak, where I'm sick. Can you allow me to be there and still shine and be in your power? Can I allow you to shine and be in your power while I'm down there? Can we allow each other to be in this, in this cyclical movement and stop this whole comparing and mistrusting? Wow. And when I feel into this, the calling of the becoming, I feel the power in this. I feel like such a bubbling curiosity comes out. Wow, what we can do then, the change, the shift in how we become active in the world and how independent we become towards men. And this means when I'm heterosexual in a love relationship with a man, but it also means with men out there, because most of the politicians that are doing the wars are still the man, etc., etc. And that's not why because they are worse than we are. That's because the system is what it is. But like, how we become way more independent when we have this common fertile ground amongst women, right? And then we can start to truly love men, but not making ourselves externally and emotionally dependent on them and create these codependent relationships where we will never step up in our power. So I think it's strongly linked, the from woman to woman and the from woman to man. And I think it's really time to look at the from woman to woman thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel really touched when I hear you speak about this. I know it. I really know it deeply, this competition piece. I had more male friends when I was young, more because I didn't want to sit around and talk about hair dryers and nail polish. It was boring. And then I started to judge women. You know, what I heard from what you shared is how we make competition of each other and then we create this kind of currency. You know, you talked about this quote where guilt is the currency we pay. I can't remember how it was.
In order to change nothing, yeah.
That men become a currency, or our looks or our stories that we have about what's better or what's worse becomes the currency that we're trying to trade and we're trying to get more of or want less of. And I can feel this pain inside my body about what that does in my physical body and how that ripples out. And the part of me that longs for something different, and a part of me that's also, the word terrified comes, which is really strong, but it's to create a new culture out there. We need to create the new culture in here. As you said, it starts with you, it starts with me. And when I speak about currency, the word love comes. And what if, at least when I hear you speak about from men to women, from women to women, from women to men, from women to women, it feels like there's this journey back home to loving ourselves.
Yes.
And to not make it a currency, but to make it a platform that we can just grow something solid from. And I feel a lot of joy about that possibility and fear of how long it might take that we can get there.
Yes, and in a way, Like, in a way, it takes a whole life, and this time and space thing somehow also doesn't exist. Like, it's a very common thinking pattern we all have now. Like, it needs this, 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 and this in order to be able to do this. And in a way, it's possible in the now. Like, it's not solved everything now, but in every now I can shift it. And it's, it all drops down to the bottom of love and of self-love.
Yeah.
And for me, the amazing thing, and we already touched this, is that the moment, like we touched it with from woman to man, and the moment we started to owning what our contribution to unhealthy patterns amongst women and men are, there was not less self-love, it was more that was being birthed. And I experience the same now with the women, because like I realize, oh wow, like for example, I'm a woman who has suffered a lot from jealousy and concurrence that other women brought towards me. So I started with feeling all this pain and all this grieving of, wow, when I became a young woman and all the boys were attracted by me and the women were jealous and hated me for it, and I didn't really have friends, like female friends. I didn't. So I carry a big wounding in this. But the step towards self-love for the woman I am, exactly the woman I am, started when I said, okay, so I'm very much afraid of the concurrence of other women, but where is my concurrence? Where's my like, where's my behavior? Where do I create concurrence, right? Again, the looking at my part of it and looking and taking my responsibility and then seeing, oh my God, there's so much. First of all, me too. I stepped into comparing and concurrence. It's not only them, it's me too. And in not trusting women, I even like it gave me more or less the permission of not so much caring for them either. So do I want to start a relationship with this man or not? Do I want to have this contact? Because with men it was easier. I didn't really bother about the other women. And so I didn't act in a trustworthy way, really not. Many times in my life. So, whoa, starting to sing, and there's shame, and there's, but it's this step that brings up my self-love. And it's so incredible how much it is linked, huh? Like it takes away my judgment towards other women, and it brings up the love for myself with all the bullshit I carry inside of me too. Because I'm in Earth school in this crazy period of time. I don't know if it has ever been better, but it's certainly a challenging one, I feel like. Oh, yeah. So.
Yeah. What I'm hearing is when I turn my attention to out there and you did this and they did that and turn it around here, regardless of whether it's I've done a bunch of stuff I'm not proud of, as soon as we start to bring attention to ourselves, we can love more of ourselves because we're seeing more, even if it's stuff we're not proud of, to own it, to really see it and own it. And so as a place to land for now, the question comes for women, men may watch this too, but it feels relevant right now with this women to women video and this topic around loving ourselves as women. For women who are watching this and want to take their first step, how can I turn towards myself and really take responsibility for how I am being with myself and with women and with men? What would you offer them? What would you say to them? What's a step that they could take?
Thank you for the question, because it feels two things are needed. And the one thing is this decision of saying, okay, 100% responsibility for what I experience with you. You carry 100% of what you experience with me. I'm not going to take this. But I'm starting to be interested in my 100%. And I just want to explain this a bit more, because I have had years of practicing owning already, taking my stuff to me and not realizing that I was still blaming a lot and being a lot bothered with your part. And it's a bit like, I like this idea of this is when I think there's 100% responsibility in our relationship if something goes wrong or something is difficult, right? And how much do you have and how much do I have? And this is such a beautiful game. Oh, okay, I take my 20%, but 80 is yours. Or completely unconscious way is, of course, I'm the victim, you are 100% responsible. But I can, even when I land at 50-50, I can be completely bothered with your 50%. And I will be blaming and putting my finger. And as long as you don't see your 50%, I'm not going to take responsibility for mine. It doesn't work. So in my experience, it's a decision. And the decision is my 100. There's 200%. There's 200% responsibility, not 100. And 100 are there and 100 are here. And my 100 is what I should be curious about. And this is a decision. So my recommendation is find the place inside of you where you can take this decision. It's so empowering. I don't want another life than my 100% responsibility, because then I can act instead of only react. Then I can step into my power, and I want. So that's the one thing. But the second super important thing is this 100% responsibility stuff without self-love gets wrong, gets into, okay, again, my guilt, it gets into this weird, and this is old conditioning too. So we have to add to the 100% responsibility thing, the love. Otherwise, it will never work. Otherwise, we will push ourselves down again.
Wow.
And now how to do this? How, like, we all know that we have to learn to love ourselves, don't we? And we don't manage anyway. So for me, like, I realized, okay, having realized we need to learn to love ourselves because the culture we grew up in did the right opposite. The culture taught us how to shame ourselves, how to blame ourselves, how to have a super strict inner critic bashing ourselves all the time. That's what we learned. So how can we unlearn this? And it's not enough to understand once and to say, okay, from now on, I will love myself now. It's not even enough to go a few times a year into seminars or retreats where it happens and it helps you to love yourself. And what I can say right now is my realization it's like a muscle that needs to be trained every day. Every single day, I need to train this self-love muscle because it's not trained. It's like when you have broken your leg for months, you couldn't walk and you're trapped, you can't walk. Then finally it's healed. You can start to walk again. You cannot do a whole run of, I don't know, marathon. You cannot. You have to train this muscle slowly.
Yeah.
It feels like this to me. Like we have to train this muscle. And I'm sure there's many different ways to do that. One way that I found is inspired by Liz Gilbert.
Wow.
I once went to Columbia Hall in Berlin to listen to her, and I was so inspired by her describing that she took the habit of asking love, unconditional love itself, every morning, what love has to say to her. And then she takes a pen and she writes a letter, a love letter to herself from unconditional love. And I said, that's interesting. I'm going to try that out. And I started to try that. And I felt glumpsy and weird in the beginning. And then it became very natural. And honestly, I'm doing this since a long time now. I am, before I switch on my phone, before I allow the world to get into my inner space, I ask unconditional love itself, what do you want me to know today? Looking at my yesterday, at my upcoming day, and then I write a letter, and it starts with beloved Hanna, and it ends with in love, love. And it's incredible because it's not making things beautiful that are not beautiful. It's not saying you're doing great when I'm not doing great. It's very honest, but it's always loving. And it's happening. Like, I'm writing this letter and it's not me. It's me and it's not me. I don't know. But it's always loving. And it's saying, honey, this was not so brilliant yesterday. These were old patterns, weren't it? You are already realizing it now. You're already speaking with me now. Before, you wouldn't have even realized. So that's a step. And remember, Earth School is a tough one. So it's a mastery school, and going to mastery school means you're not master yet. So all good, honey. Be patient with yourself and look, today is a new day. What can you do differently today? Like, it's so loving. And I started to realize a day where I do this is a different day than when I don't do it, really. And after maybe 100 letters, I started to realize this voice starts to speak with me in every moment. Like, it starts to replace this harsh, super strict voice that I was used to talk myself with too. And this is really amazing. And the first time I could read, like in December, I usually take the 12 holy nights to really become very quiet and to feel into the year that is going to come, but also to feel into the past year and to read everything that I had been reading. And the first time I could read the whole year through love letters, I was crying for hours because it sounded like a love affair, and it was a super tough year. It was a tough year. It was not an easy year. And I read all of this, and it was a love affair with life. And it was like, okay, wow, that's worth it. So training this muscle every day is so needed. Love and responsibility, they need to go hand by hand. Yeah.
I love this.
Find ways to train this muscle.
Yes. And responsibility for your life is love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not guilt, it's love. It's the new currency. It's the new currency. Oh.
Hanna, thank you so much. This love letter piece feels potent. Yeah. As a step that anyone can explore. And I'm going to choose to do that. I'm going to choose to do that and go beyond. Yeah. So thank you for being here with me. I'm really glad that I said yes to step into this with you and be in this space. Yeah, thank you so much. I really enjoyed our conversation. Very inspiring. I feel aliveness bubbling in my heart. Yes. Bye for now.